Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder Lair video. Today I will be continuing with the Gunslinger, covering the feats. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to divide this up into a couple of videos, because otherwise it's going to be too long. That being said, both videos are going up today, so let's get started.
Hold up.
Okay guys, going into this completely blind, so let's get started. First off, we have covering fire. Okay, the requirements are you're wielding a loaded firearm or crossbow, and a foe you can see within your maximum range increment has cover. Okay, interesting. Make a strike with the required weapon. Targeting a foe who must decide whether to duck behind cover or not, and ducking behind cover requires no action, before you roll your attack roll. Okay, if the target ducks, it takes cover against your attack, gaining +4 to AC from greater cover as normal, but also takes a -2 circumstance penalty to ranged attacks until the end of its next turn. Greater cover only applies to that strike, not future attacks. If the target chooses not to duck, the strike functions normally. Okay, so, Is the covering fire supposed to help melee people get in there too? I think they might want to change this to -2 penalty to all attacks. Yeah. But anyway, it's decent. It's decent for a first level feat. Okay, let's look at... Next is Firearm Ace. Yeah, okay. When you're wielding a firearm and interact to reload it, you gain +2 circumstance bonus to the damage of your next strike. If it's a simple firearm, the damage die goes up by 1 step. You must make the attack before the end of your turn, or the benefits are lost. Okay. So this is basically crossbow ace, except it doesn't work with hunted shot, or not hunted shot, but what is it called? Hunt prey, because because gunslingers don't have hunt prey. So okay, it's basically crossbow ace with a firearm. Okay. Hit the dirt. This is a reaction. A creature you can see attempts a ranged strike against you. Okay, so as a reaction, you get a +2 bonus to AC against the triggering attack, but you land prone. Okay. Decent for a first level feat. Okay. It's situational. Alright, let's look at Sword and Pistol. When you successfully make a ranged strike against your opponent within your melee reach with a firearm or crossbow, that foe becomes flat-footed against your next melee attack. Okay. When you successfully strike an opponent with your melee weapon, the next ranged strike you make against that opponent doesn't trigger reactions that would trigger only on a ranged attack. But you have to do your second strike before the end of your turn, otherwise it's lost. Okay. So this is something that Wakers, or not Wakers, what are they called? This is something that Way of the Drifter gunslingers are going to want to take. Yeah. This is something that Way of the Drifter gunslingers are going to want to take. Yeah. Because depending on which one you do, you're gonna get something good. Whether you attack with a melee or if you shoot with your gun, you're gonna get something good. As long as you do both. Yeah. Alright, let's look at second level feats. Assisting Shots. Make a strike with a firearm or crossbow. If the strike hits, the next creature other than you to attack the same target before the start of your next turn gains +1 circumstance bonus, or +2 if the strike was a crit. Okay. So basically, you just hit. If you hit, you give somebody else a bonus to hit. Okay, that's decent. Blast Lock. Okay, this is an action. You shoot the required firearm at a lock within 10 feet. You have to be wielding a loaded firearm. Okay. Make an attack roll against the DC required to pick the lock. On a crit success, you open the lock, or you achieve 2 successes toward opening a complex lock. On a success, you open the lock, or you achieve 1 success toward opening a complex lock. On a failure, you fail to open the lock, and your shot makes it harder to open. Future attempts to pick the lock take a -2. Okay. And a critical failure, it makes it much harder to open, -4. Oh, wow. Okay. This is really good if you need to get through a lock quickly. But it's not something that you're going to want to do if you have a rogue. Yeah. And you have time. But it is pretty, so it's situational. Next is Pistol Twirl. Okay, you need to be trained in deception, and you have to be wielding a loaded one-handed ranged weapon. Okay. Oh, okay, so this basically just lets you feint with a ranged weapon, and makes you, and makes them flat, and if you succeed, it makes them flat-footed against all your attacks instead of just ranged or melee. Okay, that's... and of course, on a critical failure, the same thing happens to you. Okay. Now let's look at... Okay, Quick Draw. Okay, that's Quick Draw. That's the same as it's always been. Okay. Risky Reload. It's a flourish thing, so you can only do it once per turn. You've practiced. It's a dangerous gamble. Okay. Interact to reload a firearm and then make a strike with that firearm. Oh, okay. So basically, this gives you an extra action, but if you miss, then the firearm misfires. Okay, which is bad. Which is really bad. Yep. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at Warning Shots. You have to be trained in intimidation to take this, and you have to be wielding a loaded firearm to use it. You attempt to demoralize a foe by firing, and doesn't take the penalty. Okay, so basically, this is another way to get Intimidating Glare. You just basically shoot your weapon into the air. But I'm wondering what the... Wait, does that mean that they can be within the firearm's maximum range instead of just the usual 30 feet? Is that what that means? Oh, okay. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, okay. I mean, you fire it in the air. It seems like that's what they mean, but the way they say it is kind of weird. But yeah, it seems like that's what they mean. That you can do it within within the firearm's maximum range instead of the usual 30 feet. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at 4th level feats. We have Alchemical Shots. You have a chemical bomb worn or in one hand, and you're wielding a loaded firearm. Okay. Takes 2 actions. You interact to retrieve the bomb if it isn't already in your hand, and pour it into your ammunition, consuming the bomb. Then strike with your weapon. Strike deals the same amount of... Oh, so this basically allows you to allows your gun to do different types of damage. Huh. It's interesting that they have a feat that that lets you. This would be great for a gunslinger alchemist. Yeah, if you took the alchemist dedication, this would be great. And it deals 1d6 persistent of the same type. Okay. But if you miss, then you take a 1d6 of the same type you use, and the firearm misfires. Okay. So a lot of these feats are really risky. Wow. And the resistant damage is 2d6 and 3d6. Okay. Okay. Cool. So basically, if you okay. Yeah, alright. Black Powder Boost. Okay, it's a reaction. You have to be wielding a loaded firearm, and the trigger is you leap. Okay, interesting. While dashing into position, you fire your weapon behind you to speed yourself along. You fire your weapon beneath or behind you, adding 10 feet either horizontal or vertical distance traveled. Okay. If your leap required a roll, then you can use this reaction after determining the result. Okay, so basically this just lets you jump 10 feet further. Either higher or longer. Okay, running reload, that's the same as it's always been. Okay. Cauterize. Okay, for 1 action, you're wielding a firearm that you fired this turn, and you or an adjacent ally are taking persistent bleed damage. Sounds pretty situational. Oh, okay, so basically you put your hot gun against the wherever it's bleeding, and you can stop that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now, let's look at Pistolero's Challenge. Okay. This requires Way of the Pistolero. Okay. Okay, you demand your opponent's attention in a duel. Choose an opponent within 30 feet who you can perceive and can hear you, and make a choice of deception or intimidation. No matter what, the foe is immune until noon the next day. Oh, wow. That's actually pretty cool. So it's high noon. You can have only 1 challenge in effect at a time. Challenging a new one ends the effects. Otherwise, the effect lasts until one of you is defeated or flees, or the encounter ends. Okay, so on a success, both you and your opponent gain a +2 status bonus to damage rolls with strikes made against each other. If you're a master, it's +3. If you're legendary, it's +4. Okay, and on a critical failure, you become frightened 1 and can't use this ability again for 1 minute. Okay, so this is the classic dual pew pew thing, which totally makes sense for the Pistolero. Dad would love this feat. Yeah, Dad would absolutely love this feat. Next we have Reloading Strike. Okay, this one requires Way of the Drifter. You're wielding a firearm or crossbow, and your other hand is either wields a one-handed melee weapon or is empty. Okay. You attack and then reload your gun in a 1 fluid movement. Strike an opponent within your reach with a melee weapon or an unarmed attack, and then interact to reload. You don't need it. Okay, so this gives you a free Okay. This gives you a free action, basically. It essentially just allows you to, like... Basically, you're holding on to your bullets, and you... Yeah, basically. Okay, now let's take a look at Scatter Blast. You're wielding a floated firearm that has the Scatter trait. Okay, there's only one weapon that has that right now, and that's the, Oh... Never mind. Anyway, but yeah, I know there's only one weapon that... the Blunderbuss. That's the only weapon that has that right now. You pack your weapon with additional shot and powder, creating a risky but devastating arc of destruction. Make a range strike. The range of your weapon increases from 15 to 30 or 30 to 60. But if it's already 60 or greater, this ability has no effect. And on a failure, it misfires. On a critical failure, it explodes, becoming broken, dealing its normal weapon damage, including fundamental and property runes, to all creatures in a 20-foot burst with a basic reflex save. Oh, wow. Okay, so, again, another really risky feat, but it just basically doubles your range, unless it's already 60 feet or greater. Yeah, makes sense. Scattering Shots. Way of the Sniper. Okay, so you need to be a sniper to take this. You're wielding a loaded firearm or crossbow, and have a worn or wielded bomb that has the splash traits. You fling the bomb into the air and then shoot it, causing damaging rain over a wide area. If necessary, you interact to draw the bomb and regrip your weapon. This is for one action? Wow. You throw your bomb to a corner of the square within your firearm's first range increment and shoot it with the firearm. All creatures within a 15-foot burst of the bomb take splash damage equal to the amount of precision damage. One shot, one kill. Okay. The damage is the same type. Okay, so this basically allows snipers to hit more than one target, which is pretty neat, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be as good as just standing there and, you know, doing the normal thing, but, you know, hey. If you need to hit more than one target, then this is a good feat for you. Okay, let's see. Grit and Tenacity. Okay, so it's a reaction that you can use once per hour when you fail a Fortitude or Will save. You call upon deep reserves of... Oh, okay, so basically if you fail a Fortitude or Will save, you get advantage on it from 5e, but with a +2 bonus. That's really cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Next we have Paired Shots. You're wielding 2 loaded one-handed crossbows or firearms. Okay, so you're dual wielding. So Paired Shots, you need to be dual wielding guns or crossbows. Okay. Make 2 strikes, one with each of your 2 ranged weapons, and each using your current multiple attack penalty. Okay, so you don't take any penalty if you do this first. Both strikes must have the same target. Okay. If both attacks hit, combine their damage, and then add any effects. Okay. You only get precision damage once. And you apply resistances and weaknesses only once, and it counts as 2 attacks. Okay. So basically, yeah, it's a really good way to get 2 really good strikes in. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't take this for... I'd take this for a Pistolero Gunslinger. Yeah, I would. Return Fire. Okay, so it requires hit the dirt. Okay, so that's the one where if you you can like go prone in order to get a +2 on your to your AC. Okay. Whenever you hit the dirt at any point during your leap, you can make a ranged strike with a firearm or crossbow against the creature whose attack triggered the react. Okay. Okay, so this just allows you to make a ranged strike while you're hitting the dirt. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Shooter's aim. It requires 2 actions. Okay. Make a ranged weapon strikes. You gain a +2 circumstance bonus on the attack roll and ignore the target's concealment. If you're using a firearm with the unsteady trait, you don't take the normal circumstance penalty for firing without using a tripod or an interact action to aim on this strike. Okay, so snipers are definitely going to want to take this. Absolutely. They're going to have to... They're only going to get 1 shot per round anyway. And this just gets rid of the penalty for not using a tripod or interacting. And it gives you a +2 and you ignore concealment. Yeah. This is definitely something that snipers are going to want to take. Absolutely. Alright, now let's look at Smoke Curtain. You load an extra dose of black powder into your shot, causing it to belch out a rolling cloud of smoke. Make a strike to create a 20-foot burst centered on your location. Creatures are concealed. Oh, yeah, okay. And on a critical failure, the firearm misfires. Okay, so basically this is a smoke bomb, but around you instead of wherever the bomb lands. That's interesting. Okay. Alright. Next we have 10th level feats with Called Shots. Okay, so I'm thinking this is, this is where you pick a certain part of your foe's body, and you hit it, and then you get extra effects. Okay, so let's see. Arms. Okay, so if you target the arms, or another limb used for attacks, like Tentacle, the target is enfeebled 2 until the end of your next turn. Okay. On a critical hit, it's also enfeebled 1 for 1 minute. Okay, so... Alright. If you go for the head, it's stupefied 2 until the end of your next turn. And a critical hit, it's stupefied 1 for 1 minute. Okay. It is a 2-action thing, so that kind of makes sense, because you're aiming. If you target their legs or a tail on a legless creature... you just basically take away their speed. Okay, that makes sense. And if you go for their wings... okay, so if the target is flying using its wing, it immediately falls 20 feet or 40 feet on a critical hit. The fall is gradual enough that if it causes the target to hit the ground, the target takes no damage. That seems a little bit... Yeah, it seems like it would take the fall damage to me. But that's just me. Yeah. Alright, now let's look at Deflecting Shots. Okay, you're wielding a loaded firearm or crossbow. It's a reaction. The trigger is an ally within the first range increment of your firearm or crossbow is hit by an attack, and you can see the attacker. Okay. So, basically, you can use a reaction to give the ally a +2 circumstance bonus to their AC against that attack. Oh, but you can use it after the attack roll is revealed. So you know if it'll make a difference or not. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. So you're basically just shooting your gun in order to try to make it try to make somebody miss. And it doesn't matter whether it's a ranged or melee attack. Okay, that's neat. Redirecting Shots. An ally misses with a ranged attack that uses a thrown weapon or ammunition. Okay. You're wielding a loaded firearm or crossbow. Seeing your ally's attack go astray, you fire your weapon to right its course. Make an attack roll against the target of the triggering attack, ignoring any bonus that they would have against cover. Your ally's attack uses your attack roll instead of their attack roll. Okay. Alright, so again, risky because if you crit fail, then they crit fail, which is, yeah, wow. Yeah, again, risky. A lot of these feats are really risky. Yeah. Alright, now let's look at Trick Shots. You shoot not at your foe, but at an object nearby. Make a strike with your firearm against an AC of 25 or a different DC, GM's discretion. Instead of hitting your foe, your attack hits an object behind or to the side of the target, creating one of the following effects. Might determine that it isn't a valid option. GM determines such cases and should inform you before you spend the actions. Okay. Dislodge Object. Your attack knocks an unintended object of no more than 2 bulk out of position, moving it up to 10 feet in the direction of your choice. For example, the weapon could knock a wizard's crystal ball off a table. Interesting. Okay. This might be good if you're, that one might be good if you're a sniper. It really depends on the situation. That's pretty situational. In fact, this entire feat is probably pretty situational. Explosive Barrel. Your attack strikes a barrel of explosive rum, a vial of volatile alchemical fluids, or an erupting demonic pustule, or some other explosive object. The object explodes in a 20-foot radius a 20-foot burst, and all creatures in the area take 66 damage with a basic reflex save against your class DC. The damage type is chosen by the GM, and it goes up by 1d6 for every 2 levels past this. That's, yeah, again, situational, but the explosive barrel thing is pretty cool. I have to admit. It's very cool. Yeah, I think if I'm going to play a gunslinger, I'm going to play this. Alright, that's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more Pathfinder 2nd Edition content. Be sure to check out my Facebook page, my Twitter feed, and my Discord server. So until next time, let's play some Pathfinder. 1, 2, 3, 4.